Top of the morning to ya. It's another lovely weekend here in southern Quebec. If you can see behind me, I got the shop pretty clean. As clean as I kind of need it to be. I've got some stuff I want to get done. Summer is coming, hopefully, eventually. It's taking its time. But on the bright side, that gives me time to get everything I need ready. Today, I'm gonna have to go for a little walk because I need a few parts off of stuff that I've taken off to get other things done. To get to where I'm going, I'm gonna need a few of those things. Let's go see what we can find, and then when we come back, I'll take the cover off of this beast. Those of you that are following, you know what's under here. And anybody just following us now, well, I got something to show you. Sunday, March 25th. I got everything else I need. I got my water, we got coffee, another camera just in case, and some parts for something that we're gonna hopefully work on today. So let's go for a little walk. Obviously it snowed last night. It's never fun. So there's a lot of mud back here I'm trying to dodge as we go for a little walk. But that's okay, because that's a good sign that summer's on its way. I can deal with that. I live right next door to my dad. Because we've been here so long, we've got a lot of cars that we've collected over the years, a lot of parts, a lot of stuff like that. If you walk far enough out back, it's basically like a car graveyard. Here's a little piece of it. Bunch of parts we might need. Bunch of donor cars, projects. Here's one. This nasty beast of a car used to belong to my girlfriend. She's a big Monte Carlo fan. Her grandfather has one. He has a beautiful SS, very clean, low mileage, all original. She was absolutely in love with that car. So probably like 2 years ago, I found this. It belonged to a buddy of mine. And it's kind of what you would call, I guess, a barn find. This thing was a real basket case. We picked it up out of the barn. It had been sitting for years and years. It took a while to start it. Finally, when it started, all the brakes, everything was seized on it. So it was a little bit of fun to get it out. My buddy wanted the motor back since he built that in school as a project. We had to rip out the engine. We swapped in a 350 that we got from Jesse's grandfather. Finally got it going. Floors are non-existent in this car. They're absolutely gone. When she was working on this, I picked up a Camaro from Craig. She decided she wanted that instead. I bought the car for parts. You know, being the nice guy I am, she fell in love with it. And you always got to make your lady happy, right? So she got the car. We're going to check that out a little bit later. So what we're looking for today is parts off of the old front end that I pulled off my Acadian. If you guys are following, you saw what I did. You saw. So there's mounts on this chassis, but they're ugly. What I want is motor mounts. Judging by those, I don't think it's gonna happen. But for now, we've got some other stuff to do before I start thinking about motor mounts and stuff. Let's go see what we can do. See how that works out, right? Since Jessie decided not to do the Monte Carlo and she wanted to use the Camaro because the car's in way better shape, it's running, the floors are solid, everything's solid. It had a few dents in it, a few little things that we needed to fix. We got all that done last year, the bodywork was done. The only problem she had with the car, the manual transmission. She can drive manual, no problem. She got it all figured out, she can do it. It's a small block Chevy, so it's got torque. Over the years, I guess, the throttle cables and everything, they don't run smooth anymore. For this car to ease on the throttle while you're trying to learn how to drive standard, that ain't happening. To make the car more enjoyable for her, the boys and I decided to help her out and put an automatic transmission in it. Let's check out this car, huh? We're only like halfway through. We got the 5-speed out of the car, only to find out that none of the flex plates or torque converters I have would mount to it. Here it is. Wow. It's gonna have to be taken out of here, cleaned up, get it back in the shop. We'll finish off that transmission as soon as we get our parts in. I had to get one of my buddies, Brent, to order some parts for me. Well, for Jessie, because this is her project. Like, she pays for it. But I don't think she's gonna be too happy when she sees what kind of state this is in when we pull it out, because it's been sitting here all winter. Door unzipped a few times, rubbed on the back of the car, took the plastic dip off. Fix it before she sees it. So that was a little tour of our little junkyard. I really didn't find what I was hoping to find, but I know there's a good set of motor mounts underneath the hood of that Monte Carlo. I might just go buy a brand new set. I gotta buy wheel studs for the Acadian anyway. That might be the way to go with that. Anyway, for those of you that are following and have seen this car before, you know what we're getting at. If you're just following right now, maybe we could have a little look of what's underneath this cover, right? Now, originally, this car does not handle very well. I'm more of a track, road course kind of guy, as opposed to just driving fast in a straight line. If you've driven one of these cars in a stock form, you know that they don't handle that great. It's not a heavy car, it's very lightweight, and you can make it go fast. You can't really take a corner with any kind of enthusiasm, so I had to address that problem first thing. So even though right now it's very dirty and dusty, you can see what I've added to the front of the car. That clip that I showed you earlier in the video, unbolted right from the front, motor, everything came out with it. I got rid of the old strut style suspension, the steering box, in favor of this. That's what we call the Mustang 2 independent front suspension. Very common modification for guys that are building muscle cars like this that want to make them handle. Comes complete with everything you need. The frame rails, tubes on the chassis here, that's all direct bolt on. The only thing I had to weld the subframe. The cross member underneath. The trick on this one was getting it in the right position. I had to do all kinds of measurements, measure 5 times, cut once kind of thing. As far as I know, it's pretty accurate. I want this car to be able to handle corners. I want it to be able to, when you exit a corner, that it comes back to center. I took advantage of having everything all off and having to weld the front end myself, and I gave the car an extra couple degrees of caster. So what caster is that's kind of hard to explain. I'll explain caster later. That's where I'm at now with the front end of this car. The new chassis clip is bolted on, the subframe's welded in, everything's lined up to where I want it. All the alignment should be on point, how I want it to make this thing handle. Let's take a little look at what the interior looks like now, because I had to do a lot of stuff in there to get it ready for what I want it to be. So right now it looks kind of horrible. The dash is out, everything's out, steering column's out, the pedals, all the controls. I had to redo the transmission tunnel. Let's hope this serves a purpose and I didn't just chop up a really clean 66 floor for nothing. I had to make a new panel for the back, that turned out okay. I don't know why the hell there's a pillow in the back. There's my Sparko seat that's going in it. So the interior is going to need a lot of love, a lot of work, as well as the front of the car. What I've learned doing stuff like this is when you're doing a big project, you can't get overwhelmed, because when you start to feel overwhelmed, it starts to bring you down. You lose confidence in the project, you lose confidence in yourself. That's no way to be. I think the best thing to do, and a lot of other people agree with me too, is that you pick one thing at a time. You concentrate on that one thing, ignore everything else. Don't even think about your paint, don't think about your bodywork, just one thing at a time. So not to get too far ahead of myself, I'm gonna start with the front end. I think a really big thing that I need to do is to get this car back on 4 wheels to be a rolling chassis again, because it's been sitting like this for almost a year now. I can't move it anywhere. It's up on jack stands. The axle's still on the back, but the front end, you know, you can't put it on the ground and push it around the shop. You can't even really pick it up and drag it around the shop just on the back wheels, because it has a lock differential in it. Forward, backwards, no problem. Pick it up and try to turn a corner with it. That's not gonna happen. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work on getting the steering column back on it and making the steering work. I'm gonna need a few parts before I can actually put it back on the ground, and yeah, everything's closed today. So if I'm lucky, I'll get the parts tomorrow. Let's dig through the pile, find what we need, try to get this thing to turn.